Let's do another quick video here. So yeah, let's get our mesh into Quixel. Now I'm going to do this. So I've already baked out my color ID and I've created my UV snapshot. I've not baked my normal yet. I'm going to need to bake my normal. But what I want to do is basically just make sure that this doorway is coming out the way that I want. Just take a few minutes and see how it looks in Quixel 3Do and make sure I've got what I want. It's really important to spend just this little bit of time at the beginning to make sure that my final product is going to look the way that I want. So I've got my low poly selected here. I will go to File, Export Selection, and let's see. I'm going to not put it in my originals. I'm going to put that in my doorway finals, and I'm going to call this doorway_test. So I'm just going to test to make sure this looks good. Materials I'm going to turn off because if I have this on, it gives me an MTL file. I don't need the materials. Why don't I need the materials? Because I'm going into Quixel to make the materials. Everything else I'm going to leave on. All right, so let's export this. Very good. Let's go into Photoshop. Let's bring up Endo. Let's create a new project. I'm going to throw my mesh into it. And let's see, where's it going to save? It's going to save in document, blah, 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 the doorway, fine, finals doorway. And then once I know that this is looking the way I want, I can just chuck all that. So let's create a new project and drop into 3Do, see what we've got here. Make sure my mesh looks the way that I want because it's easier to fix these problems at this point in time. Interesting how I've got some light coming through there. I'm mildly curious where that light's coming from. As I rotate around, I can see there appears to be like a gap there. There appears to be got some light coming through over here. Not entirely certain where that's coming from. Let's see, so it's coming through over there. So my light is over here somewhere. So light is hitting here. The light ray is going through that. It's hitting the back of that, so it just goes right through that because it only reflects when it hits a normal surface. It always goes in the direction of normals. So it's hitting this and it's going right through. So this line right here sure seems like it should be coming from something over here. Like it should be coming from that edge or something. I don't think I've got any duplicate edges there or gaps. I'm pretty sure I fixed all those. I don't know. We'll double check that. You know, something going on right there too. Where's this light coming from? Coming from back here? Yeah, it's coming from like this kind of a direction maybe. It looks all nice and shiny up here. So let's see. Is it that? Or maybe it's that. It could be one of those, maybe. Let's see. Oops. So I got some weird light going on there. I might take a look in Maya, see if I can spot that really quick. If not, then I'm just not going to worry about it. Because that's going to be covered up with textures later on. Might lead to some weird light mapping. But it also just might be something weird going on here in Quixel. I don't know. Okay. So the model looks pretty nice. Looks good. I'm not really pleased with these handles down here, though. I mean, this is low poly. I get that, but you know, I don't really like this faceting that I've got here. So let's go into Maya and let's fix one of these and then kind of compare it. So I'm going to go ahead and close Quixel. Well, close Endo specifically. And now go back into Maya. And let's see. So what I want to fix, I'm going to fix one of these guys here. So let's go ahead, let's go to face mode. I think face mode will be the easiest. I'm going to start off right here, hold down shift and get that whole ring, hold down shift greater than, so I can grow my selection, grab all of those, and come up here to mesh display and soften edge. And let's see what this looks like. So I'm just going to click off of that, make sure I'm on object mode, and click over somewhere else. And here you can see the difference. See the faceting over here and the smoothness here. It's still low poly. So, I mean, there's only so, like right here, it's only so smooth I can get it because it is still low poly. But this does look a whole lot smoother than what we had over there. Unfortunately, by softening all the edges, I've lost my contrast right in this area, as well as contrast right down here. So let's go back and tweak this a little bit more. So I'll select that, do an F8, zoom in here, and I'm going to go to my edge mode. Let's grab, not that one, let's grab that edge and that one. And I shift double click to go all the way around there. And I will do a mesh display harden edge, grab this one, go all the way around there, and you can see the shadow detail that's being added. So basically this face right here and this face, they're trying not to have this sharp edge. It's trying to be smooth from there. But by hardening that edge right there, this face and this face have this sharp edge right there. Let me show you what I mean by that. So I'll go on to object mode, deselect there. See that nice sharp edge that I've got there. That's it. But up here, I'm lacking that. So let's do, all right, so I've got those selected. Now we'll do a mesh display. Let's harden that edge. Go back to object mode. There we go. See how that edge sharpened right there? Looks pretty nice. So I'm going to keep doing this and get all of my edges taken care of, and then export this back out and see how that looks. Click around there. Mesh display harden. Do this one. Mesh display harden, and do that one. Mesh display harden. All right, that's done. Let's come down to this. That. Think. Oh, harden that one. And what am I looking for? Mesh display. Where is it? There it is. Let's harden that one. Come down a little bit more. Zoom in here. You know what? Let's just select a whole bunch. Oops. Okay, so I've got all those selected. Mesh display. Harden all those. Let's tumble a little bit so I can get the bottom edge of these little grips, or whatever the heck these things are called. Mesh display, harden that, and come up over here. Mesh display and harden that. Okay, so I've hardened all of those. So I'm going to go ahead and export out my OBJ again and see how this looks this time. Let's do an F8. So I'm in my object mode, green lines, object mode, file, export selection. I'm going to do doorway test again. Export that. Yes, I want to replace it. And let's go back into Undo really quick. Launch project creator. Mesh is going to be doorway test. Go ahead, create this. Let's bring up 3Do. What do we have this time? All right, so we're working over here. Let's see. Let's zoom in here. Whoop, too far. There we go. All right. Here you can see the difference. Smooth versus faceted. See the difference down here? You can see the edges that were hardened. You know, those edges that go around there and those edges that go there, but not those. So, you know, how do you want it to look? Do you want it to look like a hexagonal nut kind of thing that can be loosened? Or do you want it to look more, you know, as smoothed as we can get something that's low poly like that? But you can see like the pipe right here looks a whole lot smoother, nicer than does that one. Same thing with these grips. So all in all, this pipe looks a whole lot better than that pipe. Will look better in the game. And this is one of those things that doesn't take long. The video is 9 minutes long right now. So it doesn't take long to do this, and it's going to lead to a much better looking asset in the end. So I'm just going to fix those edges over there really quick. And okay, so I've got all those edges on that hand grip hardened, softened the way that I want. So let's do a file, export selection. I'm not going to call it test. I'm going to call it doorway. So I think I'm ready to go. Export that, drop back down in a Quixel for one final double check on this, and do launch project creator, mesh, doorway, create, 3do. What does this look like now? Looks much better than what we started off with. Very nice. Okay, so I'm liking that. That's looking good. Okay, I'm pleased with that. So yeah, my mesh is now ready. So I'm going to go ahead, and our next quick one-off video is going to be to do our baking of our normal map. I decided I'm not even going to worry about trying to figure out what's going on there. Yeah, so that's what we're going on next with. So any questions, just let me. Actually, you know what? Before I just leave here, I want to clean up my folder because as I'm testing and I make these extra files and whatnot, once I'm done with them, there's no point in keeping them and getting all confused. So I'm going to close Quixel here, or not Quixel, just Endo, and go into my folder structure. And basically, I've got these 3 doorway folders that were created by Endo in my test. I don't need any of them. I'm going to chuck them. And this doorway test, that OBJ file, I don't need it. I'm going to chuck it. So now I've only got the doorway that's the smoothed and ready to go into Quixel for my next set. So now I'm actually done with this one.